Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome for the first time. Either way, I'm super happy you're here. So I am going to use these beautiful dips from Daisy Dips. They were for the 4th anniversary for Nailzinacoffin, so they are not available. So I won't be linking them, but they are gorgeous and I couldn't help myself. The thermal. Okay, I can't wait to show you guys. And then I'm going to use this white under my decal. And then here's the fun part. I am going to be trying out a Zero Beauty base and top coat. This is low odor. So this is a new product. And it's available on Amazon and it's super affordable. If this works out for me, which spoiler, it does. This is probably going to be my new go-to for dip because they're so good and they're so affordable. So the base and top coat were $10. I did see where they had the base top coat activator and a brush saver, which I don't know why, because the odorless are really hard to contaminate. Although I didn't try very hard with these. I believe was $20 or $30. I will link both options just so you can see, assuming they're still available on Amazon, which I would assume they are. So I'm just looking over the directions and it says the top coat it doesn't say specifically it doesn't need an activator. It's just not part of the steps. I'm going to use an activator because I know how dip liquids work. So I'm just going to really quick get my peel base on and let that dry, which normally that takes about, it depends on how warm my room is. Right now it's not that warm because the weather is changing. Not for the best. Anyway, so usually it takes about 5 to 7 minutes. I throw it under my blow dryer and it takes about 35 seconds. So I don't wait. I have a blow dryer in my nail room and I use it specifically to dry my peel base and it works amazing. So we're going to get into this. Okay, so this is a little bit weird here. I'm going to do white on my middle finger and I'm going to leave that in, but you're going to see throughout the video that I have white on my thumb. The reason I didn't leave it in the video is because I do end up taking it off and doing the thermal on my thumb. It just didn't, I don't know. It wasn't working for me. I was going to do a decal on the middle finger and partially on the thumb with a glitter accent like half moon. You'll see that along the way. But I end up popping it off, putting on peel base and doing the thermal over. So we've got our first layer of white on and we're just going around the cuticles, cleaning those up. And then I mess up here. So it felt really dry. I was able to dust it off. But then when I went to put the liquid on, you're about to see my oopsie really shortly here. I was just pulling off the powder with the dip brush. So it wasn't dry. So I'm going to do these after this nail because it's too late. I'm already in it. So yeah, see, I pulled a bunch off. The brush was caked in white powder, so I had to take a lint-free wipe and like get it all off. So I'm going to have to use these just like I do my other odorless, where I do my first layer on all my nails and then I go back and I start my second layer. I don't have a problem with that. That's totally fine. I am activating the white because I'm going in with darker colors and I didn't want to get any on this, and I'm not clear capping the white nail, and I'll tell you guys why in just a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to get into the thermal. I'm going to do my pinky and pointer in the thermal, and then I'm going to do the ring finger in the glitter, and then I'll go back and do the second layers of the thermal and then the glitter. So that way it gives it enough time to dry in between so that I do not have that mishap again. I will say, as far as these go, I do think they are faster drying than the Color My World. Maybe more on the level of the Revel Sensitive. The consistency I like far better than the Revel. The Revel are just so thin. They're for me, they're really hard to work with. I really like certain aspects of them, but I usually have to dip the brush back into the bottle a second, sometimes a third time, especially when I'm on my second layer, because there's just not enough on the brush, because it's such a thin consistency. So I would say these are like in between the Revel and the Color My World, where the Color My World is much thicker. So yeah, I'd say they're more like a thin to medium consistency, and the Color My World is more of a medium to thicker consistency, and the Revel is a very thin consistency. As far as odor, I smelled nothing, absolutely nothing. I've used them 2 days in a row, and I've had zero issues with like any kind of dip flu symptoms. So I am just going in and I'm double dipping. This is totally per my normal when I do dip, because the odorless, it needs more powder to absorb the liquids. So I always go back in and I dip again. And yeah, I am really, 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 really loving these. Like I said, zero smell, zero dip flu. So if you have dip flu and you're looking for a good odorless, I highly recommend this. We will talk about the top coat later when we get into it. For now, we're going to do this glitter nail. And I kind of decided to do things a little different, because usually I'll do like a layer of a color that matches underneath. Well, these have like brown and orange. I didn't really want to do that. I thought it would mess with the way the glitter is supposed to look on its own. So I was like, all right, I'll do a pour over and then I'll lay my finger flat in, which is what I do here. And when I got into filing, I just couldn't get the nail shape, like the apex of it and the curve of it to look good. It was just too thick. I couldn't stand it. So I did end up popping this nail off, and I do it off camera. I pop it off and I reapply it. So what I did when I reapplied it is I did one pour over and then a second pour over. So I poured over twice. And then I just went in when I went to clear cap, and I hand placed some glitter where it was a little bit sparse, because when you pour over it just, I don't know why they don't stick as well. So I hand placed some, dipped in clear, and then did a second dip in clear, and the nail turned out so much better. You can see in the photos at the end, I have plenty of glitter coverage. I think the glitter looks so good and so beautiful, but it's not all thick and lumpy bumpy. So that's the way I'm going to do chunky glitters when I don't put a base underneath, because there's too many different colors in the glitter. So we are on our second layer. And I have to make an amendment to my previous video. So I told you guys in that video that I was over dip and I was probably not going to be using it very much. I did mention that I would use it for this video specifically, because I was going to review these liquids. I don't know that I mentioned that they were Zero Beauty, but I did mention that I had some more odorless liquids from a new company to try. But I think I was just frustrated because I had used dip and it just completely ruined my full cover tips. And I was feeling some type of way about it. I love dip. I'm not giving up dip. In fact, my next video is going to be with dip. So ignore all of that. That was just me venting because I was feeling a little frustrated. I'm being much more gentle going around my cuticles, so I didn't have any mishaps. I was more patient and gentle with my filing, so still, you can see in the pictures at the end, because if I take the pictures right after, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, it just depends, you can see that my cuticles are a little bit red and like they look a little mad. Not anything crazy, just a little bit red. And that's because of the filing, because I've mentioned this in videos in the past. I have super, super, super sensitive skin around my nails. Like, so ridiculously sensitive. By the next day, they're fine. They're not even anything anymore. They're just a little bit inflamed isn't even the right word. They're just a little irritated. We'll just stick to that word from the filing. That's it. And then they're fine the next day. So And they also get irritated from just the dryness of the process. All right. With all that being said, I will be doing plenty of dip manis, but I will also be doing gel and maybe nail polish here and there. Nail polish is a little harder for me because as much as I love it, I can't stand the dry time. I cannot stand how long it takes. So I'm not saying I won't ever do it, but it'll be few and far between. So I'll probably do a mix between dip and gel. Okay, that being said, this glitter is gorgeous, but man, it's just at this point I was like, okay, I don't know why you did this, but we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna clear cap it, and then we're gonna file, and hopefully we can make this nail look good. And I just couldn't. So I've already done all the clear capping off camera. We are activating, and I've already activated the white nail, obviously. So I activate the thermal nails first, and then I will go into the glitter. And the reason I do that is because when I do the glitter one, I do just one coat, and then I take it's my glitter doohickey is what I call it. So I'll do one coat. I let it sit for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 seconds. And then I know it looked like I did two coats, but really I just did one. I just didn't have enough on my brush the first time, so it really did not get the whole nail. So I had to dip back in because my activator is kind of low. So I will touch the nail, make sure that all the sticky's gone, because when you first put the activator on, it's going to be kind of sticky. Once it's not sticky anymore, but before it's like fully set, I go in with my glitter doohickey, my glitter flattener, and I just kind of press them as flat as I can. The glitter wasn't like it was sticky. I mean, the glitter cooperated well. It's just, it's too thick. Like at the end of the day, it's just, for me, for what I like, it makes the nail bulky and thick, and then it doesn't have that smooth transition where it's like, I, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I mean, I do know what I'm trying to say. It's just not coming out of my mouth the way I want it to. So anyway, there we are, filed, buffed, off camera, and I'm going to take my alcohol and I'm just going to clean up any of the dust residue that's still on my nails. And at this point, I have not changed my glitter now. It's still the same. I'm like going through some stuff right now. I think I change it after I decide that I don't like the cuticles I have on. So I am going to put my Nailed It sticky base from Nailzinacoffin. This is what I use almost exclusively for decals, but I have found another method that works great, but I'll probably only do that if I'm doing a gel mani. So I will do a gel mani, I'm sure, in the future, and I will show you that process. But yeah, that was the decals I had. It didn't work as well as I thought it was going to. Once I saw it on the nail, I was like, no. So I took those off, switched out the thumb, changed. I don't think I've changed my glitter yet. Or maybe I have. I don't think I have. I think my glitter nail is still the way it was, but I do change it at some point. Anyway, we're going to do a different decal. So I thought this one would look much better. It has the orange pumpkins and it has the brown like flowers and vines. And I was like, okay, yes, that's going to be better. And I have used these decals before. I used them last fall and I don't care. I still have like 6 left and I will use them again next fall or again this year because they are gorgeous and they can go with so many different colors and designs and you name it. So I left them in the water for about 25 seconds and then I just kind of dab it in the center of the nail. I do not lay it all the way flat because I want to flatten it with my silicone tool. I just feel like if I try to flatten it out with the jelly stamper, it's not going to work that well. I'm going to have a ton of wrinkles because nails aren't flat. Like, they're just not. I wish they were, but they're not. No, I don't. That's a lie. I do not. That wouldn't look very good. Okay, anyway. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to smooth it out as best as I can, get the edges down as best as I can, and then I will go in with the cleanup process, which I'm doing. Things are so much different because doing these on press-ons is so easy. I just clip around the entire nail. Well, I can't do that when they're on my nails, unless I want to risk cutting my cuticle or sidewalls. So the sidewalls, actually, I didn't really get a lot of overhang on those. It's more back in the cuticle area, which is probably why this nail in particular was so red at the end, because I do use acetone for cleanup. Why is my video not playing? Ignore that. I had a little mishap doing my voiceover because all of a sudden my video was still, not, there was nothing happening, but I was talking. I was like, what's going on? I don't know. It froze or something. It's all fine now. Okay, so I'm going to speed this part up times a lot, because otherwise it's going to take forever and nobody wants to watch that. But I do want you guys to see, it just takes patience. It is worth it if you clean these up the right way, because they look so much better when you do it the right way, but it takes some time. I mean, these decals are so good. They're easy to apply, but they're very durable. So I'm just kind of loosening up that excess with the acetone. This is 100% acetone. And once I get a good amount on it, then I'll go in with this plastic cuticle pusher. I don't use it as a cuticle pusher ever. This is pretty much what I use it for the most part. Sometimes nail art. But because it's so sharp and you have to be really careful, I'm going to go in where I've already loosened with the acetone, and I'm going to scrape off any of that excess and get it out of my cuticle area. I don't want excess in my cuticle area. And it just takes some patience. It's not that bad. And I did go over the entire nail with the acetone. So I usually do that with activator, but you can do it with acetone too. It works the same way. It just kind of flattens any bumps or ridges or wrinkles out. And now I'm going in with a clear. And this is why I did not clear cap the white nail. So I activated it. I gave it a light buff. It didn't need much. A little bit of filing around the edges. Again, not much. And then that way I don't make the nail too thick, because I want to put the clear. And this is new. I didn't used to do this. So if you've seen any of my previous decal videos, I'd never clear capped. In fact, I would use base coat to clear cap. But I just realized that when I would go and file that or clean it up, it just made it not look as good. This ends up looking so good. The decal application to me is just flawless. I did buff that nail, and now I've changed my glitter, by the way. My glitter is changed. So now I'm activating to top coat. Okay, let's talk about this top coat part. The instructions said to put your first layer of top coat on, let it dry 60 seconds, and then your second layer. So I'm going to do all of that, except I added the activator first, because I, again, know that dip top coat needs activator in order to dry. I'm not brave enough to try to put this top coat on without activator and wait 30 minutes for it to still be tacky, and then I have to figure out how to get it off. No way. So I put the activator on, I let it sit for 1 minute, and now I'm just wiping off with a lint-free wipe. And then we're going to go in with our first coat. So the first coat I did just 3 quick swipes. Sometimes I do a little more than 3. It's fine. Again, these liquids, low odor liquids in general, in my experience, are very hard to contaminate. So I'm not too worried about it, but I am still taking all the precautions, wiping off on a paper towel before I put it back into the bottle, and still going as quick as I can, not hovering and sitting on the nail and doing a lot of too many strokes. Okay, so once I get this layer done, it dries almost instantly. I mean, it really dried fast, but I waited 1 minute just because that's what the instructions said. And then when I go in with my second layer, I can be much more precise. I do add a little bit of a thicker layer. I'm slower. I'm more meticulous about getting every single part of the nail. I still do wipe off the brush before I put it back in the bottle, but you can take your time a little bit more. You don't want to take too much time, but you could definitely take your time and get every nook and cranny. Cap the free edge if you have. Mine are almonds, so there's really not much to cap there. But Yeah, I was pretty, like at this point, I'm like, oh, these are shiny and so pretty. I think I love this top coat. I'm going to play around with different ways to do the top coat going forward. When I use it, I will likely use the Model One's gel base and gel top coat for the most part, just because unless this miraculously, unless I figure out a way to make it stay shiny. So when I first did it, I was like, oh, gorgeous, so shiny. It did take about 5 minutes to dry, just so you guys know. Like I set a timer for 5 minutes. I touched the pinky too early and I had to add another layer, which then took an additional few minutes to dry. It's fine. We're going in with our nails in a coffin. I don't remember which scent this is, but I basically just have a link in the description box to all of them and you can pick out your favorite scents. I think this was sugared lemons. Either way, divine. So good. So good. Anyway, as I was saying, it took about 5 minutes to dry. They're you can see like in the video, they're super pretty and shiny. When I took the picture, super pretty and shiny. Mm, it's been, I think, 2 or 3 days now, and the shiny is pretty much gone. They've dulled out quite a bit. Um, so I'm hoping I can find a way to keep them shiny, but they are low odor dip liquids, so I'm not sure if that's even possible. Look at that thermal. It's gorgeous. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a beautiful day. Bye.